Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the wishlist account and we are looking at the Nightmare Corridor. Now, unfortunately, if you don't have access to the Nightmare Corridor, guys, there is actually a requirement right here, 30 Ascended Heroes or Resonating Crystal level 350. Unfortunately, we are not on either of them for this account, but we do have the new guide that is up. I wanted to cover it to make sure that we have the team comps that essentially they're running in here. So let's take a look at it. All right, guys, so here it is. So unfortunately with the Cursed Friends, it doesn't seem like they're doing the updates anymore. So this is the only guide that we're actually getting. I did translate the guide on the other side. The new boss is the Mirror Demon, which is in Team 6. That is what essentially this says here. The ratio buff is an issue with the 5th team of the Martyrs. Treeing the Bishop and saving the new 6th team. So again, we're going to look on some of the teams here, and I'm going to kind of break it down. It's very, very rough when you look at Google Translate to what exactly this says. But looking at our teams, this one is focused around, of course, right here with Curcio. Curcio is incredibly, incredibly effective. We have Demia in there. We do have Warwick in there, which again, if you do not have this combination, guys, if you do not have Curcio and Warwick, you're actually going to use Anasta and Orin. This is kind of a little bit of an older comp, but you do want to replace both of them. You don't want to just replace one and then go from there. You want to make sure that your Curcio is at least a plus 30 signature item, 3 of 9 furniture with a plus 30 engraving. That is really the big thing that you're going to do damage. Again, if you don't have that Curcio built, go with the alternate formation, putting in the owl within here. Now, the alternate comp for this one does run the Awakened version of Belinda, and of course, Jerome. Seems like Jerome is showing up in quite a few places. This, again, is going to be the build here with the Winged Lion. There are a couple substitutes that you can put in here for the Tool Man, which I believe is Jerome at this point, guys. So if you do have Rain, if you have Athiel, if you have Tamaris, all 3 of those heroes are going to provide a very, very strong buffing aspect within this game mode, making it work incredibly well. Now, looking at the second one, this again is one that is based on Orthos. Now, there are a lot of players that do not have Orthos in here, which means it's very tough. Now, you'll also notice there is Jerome in here. So you really have to go through and pick which hero you're putting into which formation and where it's going to work very well and where it is going to give the most damage. Now, with 10 trials within the Nightmare Corridor, you can go through, you can run 3, 4, 5 in there. You can swap out some of the heroes, run a couple more to see exactly where you're going to get the maximum in here. Now, also remember, guys, that Jerome gives a major buff to light bearers. That is very important to note. So when you look at the Awakened version of Thane in here, when you look at Scarlet, when you look at Rowan, they're going to get massive buffs in this formation, which is the reason why so many players do run them together. And then we do have Lucilla right here on the end, running Blade Ridge. And again, a couple different variations in here, depending on who you have, depending who you're using for other formations. Now, this last one down here is running the Scarlet Grez. That, again, is an old school formation with the Strilda and Rain in there. Again, depending on what you're running, and Demia is in there as well. Buffers can be somewhat interchangeable, but the effectiveness of them will go down a little bit. Looking at our third team right here, we have the Awakened version of Baden, and then we have Aziz. In here, guys, you want to use the SP effect of the Awakened version of Aziz, even if you do only have one copy where he is only at Legendary. You want to have the SP effect because of this boss with that Awakened version of Aziz. Then, of course, Hodgkin in here as a buffer, Estrella and the twins in here as a buffer. Same with the second group, guys, is that one single copy of the Awakened version of Aziz. However, in this game mode, in this boss, if you do not have Aziz, there's not really much of a substitute. You can look at different options at that point. This is running Mulan and Vathiel. Again, Vathiel will be doing a ton of damage in this formation, as well as Amelia and the twins in there. They're running the Wing Lion up here and then running the Owl right down here. Now, looking at the next formation, this one kind of interesting. Again, there are a lot of alts in here. Running the Spider, and the higher you have the Spider built out, I believe 15, 18, works incredibly well. Now, this runs Olgath with Leica. If you do not have Leica in here, guys, we do have Matria, and then we do have, you can see, in here with Mortis. Now, I believe at this point, guys, even looking Naruko, we have Athea, we have Tamaris, and then, of course, if we don't have Olgath in here, you can put in Lucilla. And this is also running Liberta. Liberta is going to do an incredible amount of damage. And again, there are some substitutes, some different formations in here. Even looking in here, guys, we have Antandro with the Awakened version of Sophia. So it's very dependent on who you really built and how you built them out. Because essentially, if I'm missing one of the damage dealers, if I'm missing one of the key heroes, Do you have the heroes to really substitute, or what is going to equate to a substitution in there? Making sure, again, you do the damage, making sure you're running through and you're doing this on a couple different places. Now, looking at this one, guys, this is of course, the old school Trichia. Again, we've seen this for a while, guys. You're running the Lorzen in there for the linking ability, also for the buffing. We have the original version of Tailene in here, and you'll notice that the Fox Fatale is what we're running here. So if you do not have the Fox at 18, you're going to go to the 15 Belbella. If you do not have Belbella at 15, then it is going in for the Radish or going in for the Savage Souffle to really build that out. Now, of course, if you don't have Trichia in here, you can see they actually swapped in 2 of the buffers within here. So we do have the Awakened version of Solus. We also do have Tamaris. If you don't have Tamaris, you can run Nevi. And Nevi in this formation, guys, again, is going back to one of the originals that we have. And of course, you're getting the triple or the quadruple buff in here just based on the build that we have. Then looking at some of our last formations, guys, which is this one right here. We have one more for the Mirror Mage, but this one is kind of the invade. You're going to have Theo, you're going to have the Awakened version of Athelia going into the enemy side. If you do not have Theo, you can put Orin in there, Talisman in here for the crowd control. But again, this is going to be the Scrag invade, so Scrag does need the furniture to be effective in there. Then, of course, looking at this build with Ivan running in here, Ivan is going to shield that Awakened version of Athelia, amplifying the damage that she is putting out. Now, looking down here, this again is another comp running in here with Rem. Rem with Mortis is very, very strong, guys. Orin in here for the crowd control does a lot of damage. Then, of course, we have the double buffer right here, which works incredibly well, utilizing our Slumbering Seal right in this one. And then, of course, the final one down here, and I believe this is a substitute. This is the 4-man. Actually, this is the 4-man formation. So to get the achievement for having 4 heroes, this is what they're using, guys. Rem with Liberto, which you can put Vithiel in there. And then you can put Palmer and the twins. This, again, is one that we've seen quite a bit. Now, with the Mirror Mage 4-man competition or the 4-man formation, a lot of times that we have seen this, it might take a couple times to get this to click, meaning that you might have to run it more than once to actually get it done based on the formations that we have in there. But again, we've seen it where the 4-man can take them down, even with a lesser version of Liberta, even having some of these heroes not built quite as high as they should be to be competitive within the Nightmare Corridor, but it still works incredibly well. So guys, I hope it really helps some. I know we don't have, again, the huge guys that Curse Friends was putting out, but general formations and the general rule that I use in here, guys, is I build out the formations that I have the best heroes in, put in the substitutes where I can. If there are going to be teams that I cannot build in their entirety, I just take time and I swap out some of the heroes, making sure, again, that I can build the most effective teams to maximize the damage in there. And then, of course, up here, guys, this is who you should merc. The Awakened version of Athelia being the first one, then looking at Liberta or the Awakened version of Lyca, then Baden, then it is going to Belinda and Sophia, vice versa. This is really the way that you do want to build them. So guys, I'm going to put a link down to this guide down below. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.